Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rewind and Replay. I'm Matan.
I'm Adriana.
And I'm Caitlin.
And today we are talking about social deception. Oh, I already fucked it up. Social deception games.
There are also a little bit of social deduction.
Thank you.
I don't think
Adriana.
Yeah, I don't think it's an unfair categorization, but that's also not what they're called.
Probably not the common one, yes.
Yeah.
These have been really hot lately.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, are we surprised with quarantine and COVID, you know?
Right.
It's an easy game. They're usually cheap if you have to pay at all for them.
Yeah.
You play with your friends or strangers if you're bored. Like Omegle was so popular, so.
Omegle as a social deception game. I'd read that paper. That sounds interesting.
Throw back to the time I catfished a guy on Omegle. When I was
Did you really?
Oh. Yeah, I was talking to this guy and he was like, what was it, like ASL, like age sex education? I was like 19, female, New York.
Wow.
We had this whole conversation. I don't know if he was also like catfishing me or what, but I was like, oh, I live, and I like looked up like a place in New York, like a neighborhood. I was like, yeah, I live here. Like, this is my name. Like, I look like this. And he was like, yeah, let's go on a date. Like, I'll meet you here tomorrow at this time. Because he like happened to also live like in that location.
Right.
Yeah. That's some social fucking deception.
You guys
for
are
sure.
There are two imposters.
Right? I'm like, what if he also was like catfishing me?
What if he wasn't?
Yeah, what if he wasn't?
If he showed up at that location, he was like, oh, where is she? Meanwhile, it was just like some 12-year-old kid.
Oh my god. That's yeah, wow.
But yeah, we're going to be talking about some actual games where you appropriately deceive other people and deduce who done it or who's doing it or some sort of mechanic.
Don't catfish people on Omegle.
So, yeah.
Please don't.
There's a lot of things you shouldn't do on Omegle. Probably just stay away from
Yeah,
Omegle.
just don't go on Omegle.
It's not like a thing anymore, is it? Like, unless you're like an...
It is. It's had like a resurgence from TikTok.
Okay, well, I wasn't sure. I've seen a few for some people I follow, but they're like older, so I'm like, oh, like, is this them just like
maybe it is like an older TikTok thing, but like I see a lot of people on it. It's like a trend to like go on. And, well, no, because I know like the Hype House would do it, and then people would with them and like be like, who are you? And then
that shit was so funny.
Yeah.
But the first game we're going to talk about is a fairly popular one, Town of Salem.
Yeah. I mean, this was, I think, I want to say my first social deception game, but like not really if you think of like things that you played in like middle school, right? Like Mafia or something. But this felt like the first proper social deception game. I don't know. Like it felt...
I hear you.
Yeah. Different vibes.
Because there were so many different roles.
It was complicated.
There's you can play it in the browser, you can buy it. There was a card game of it. Like... Yeah, it was very complicated. The metagame was like pretty insane.
I never played this.
Really?
Ooh.
I know. I love these type of games, and I always really wanted to. Well, I didn't really know about it until like college, I think.
Social deception games or Town of Salem?
No, Town of Salem. I played plenty of these before college.
Of course. You were scamming man on the internet. I mean, we've established this.
Oh yeah. But no, Town of Salem, I think... Yeah, I didn't like learn about it till college, and then I just like never got a group to play it because I always had like the werewolf game, which I'm blanking on, One Night Werewolf, or like
something else.
Playing that instead. So I don't know. I just never ended up playing this.
Yeah. Okay.
It was big like early high school for me. And I mean, I don't know, it never like caught my eye, but in general, I'm not a big social deception fan anyways. I think it was too complicated for me in the way that like Among Us kind of is. Like I don't understand like the technical jargon for Among Us, but it feels easier to play.
Yeah.
You don't have to know everything.
Yeah, I hear you. Sort of learning the jargon for each game is kind of important, and it has a learning curve. Especially with games like Among Us and Town of Salem, where there's a lot in it. Like I feel like we're gonna get to this in a sec. Avalon is the one that I've played the most of, and I love.
I own it.
And I feel like it's a little bit more. Like I feel like there's a little bit less jargony and a little bit more like heady, metagamey kind of, but
Mm.
I mean, I want to talk a little bit more about Among Us because it's so big. It's so big, and it's on the downturn for sure. Still huge.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't played it in like a couple months, and I want to play it more. but
Yeah,
I feel like no one plays it as much anymore. Like there was for a time there, it was like every day we were playing until like 2 a.m. and then all of
Wow.
a sudden it just stopped.
yeah. I think, yeah, you're right, and I think they're about to add a new map. I think in February. I could be wrong.
Ooh.
And it has all sorts of new stuff, and maybe that'll do something for it.
Probably.
I think they missed. I think they missed the boat a little bit. I know it's hard to make new content, but just like if they had done it sort of after it had been hot for a little while, like before it started to downturn, I think it could have extended its life pretty
I
easily.
agree. Yeah.
I also think like what I've seen of Among Us lately has been like modded content, which has been interesting.
Mm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's unique. Like
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of any other social deception game where they have modded content.
Right.
Like, I mean, I guess you could like change the rules a little bit for like Mafia or something, but not quite the same.
Yeah. So they made a prop hunt mode, which is
Mm.
cool. I love prop hunt. I
Yep,
think it should
classic.
be a bigger thing. But the other one that is a very popular is proximity chat. So you can talk to people when you're near them in the game.
Oh.
That's
You can-
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
And it's like loudness is also based on how close you are.
Yeah.
Yo.
Mm.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean,
But-
solid games.
Yeah, it's a good one. I'm a fan. I'll probably hop back in when the new map's added and see how it is.
Let's do it. Let's play. I want to play again.
Come play with us. We all stream on Twitch. Visit our
Yeah.
Rewind and Replay Discord and just hop on when we're on.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll play with you. I'm sure we will.
Let's do it.
Then now we're getting into one of my favorites.
Yes, next up on the list, The Resistance, Avalon. So The Resistance is like a larger series of social deception games. Avalon is like the flavor, reskin with Arthurian lore. Matan, you should talk more because I only know the basics of the game. I own it. I've read the back. It's still in its fucking wrap.
I've read the back.
I'm actually not familiar with this one.
Okay,
It's supposed to be really good.
so the Resistance is a series, but isn't the Resistance itself it's like a sci-fi one as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they've got a bunch of different like reskins, basically.
So Avalon is a pretty straightforward. Well, here's how it works.
Yeah.
There's the good guys and the bad guys, and the bad guys are called the Minions of Mordred. And basically, as you play, this is how the Resistance works as well. There's a token that sort of goes around in a circle, and the people who are assembling teams. And there are 5 missions that you have to complete. So if you're on a mission, you're handed a card that says success and a card that says fail. And if you're good, you have to put success in. And if you're bad, you can put either one. Like you can put a fail in to fail the mission and help you win, or you can put a success in to sort of go under the radar and gain their trust. So you go through these different missions with different amounts of people, and you sort of slowly try to figure out, oh, somebody failed it in this mission, but there were only 3 people. So one of you has to be evil, and there's only one other person in the rest of it. And it gets very heady. Lots of trust is broken. Friendships are ended. I also like there are a couple different special evil cards, so you can more than you can have in a single game. So you can change up how it's played a lot. And there's some different good cards too. Like there's one good guy you can put in who knows who all the bad guys are, but then there's one bad guy who is hidden from that person.
Mm.
Or then there's like a person who knows who the good guy who knows who all the bad guys are. And it's I don't know. It can be as complicated as you want it to be.
That does sound very Town of Salem-y to me
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
It
With all
definitely
those
is.
roles, like they know
Yes.
this about that person, about that. Yeah.
It is that. It
Yeah.
is similar.
No, this sounds really fun. I want to play this now.
We
I
should.
mean, I own it.
I own it too. It's the one that we played all the time in high school.
Mm.
Friends and I really got into this game. I'm a big fan. We know all the meta games. Yeah.
We definitely need to play it once.
Sounds
we
good to
can
me.
get together.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I was looking it up. I think there's a free online version. That's probably not
Is
as
there-
like cool.
Is there
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, link that. That's awesome. That
Yeah,
would be
let's do
great.
that.
I would love to have
Mhm.
that. Yeah, the bad guys, if they are able to guess who the guy who knows who they all are is at the end, they win. So that
Oh.
guy, so they have to like help the good people, but not too obviously. And I remember this one guy, I was playing with some friends. This guy was drunk and it was only like his second game. And so he texts his best friend, who he knows is evil. I'm Merlin. The guy's called Merlin. I'm Merlin. Sunglasses emoji.
No.
And then they played out the rest of the game. The guy was like, it's Nico.
Automatic victory.
Yep. It's,
Oh man.
I'm Merlin. Sunglasses emoji has become a meme. Yeah, so that's of this list, I think that's my favorite. If we have time, there's one more I'll give a little honorable mention, but
Yeah. I
let's
mean,
keep
and one
going.
thing that I really like is that some of these are like, you know, proper games like Among Us, like they're video games, or, you know, you have verbal games like Mafia. You don't really need like cards or shit.
Mhm.
And like proper tabletop like Avalon.
Yeah.
And another one that I think is cool that I haven't played actually in like a really long time. Secret Hitler
Yeah,
is a fun time.
Oh yeah.
a classic.
Yeah, I since it's been a while since I played, right? I went to just like their home website page. And I don't think I've ever like read the description of the game before.
Yeah.
But it says if the liberals can learn to trust each other, they have enough votes to control the elections and save the day. But the fascists will say whatever it takes to get elected, advance their agenda, and win the game. And man, the if the liberals can learn to trust each other, woof, that hit hard.
Oh,
It's got some
man.
bite. Yeah,
Yeah, it does
Yeah,
have
it
some
does.
bite.
that's funny. Timely as always.
Time.
So
Yeah.
I also have never actually played this game. I have watched plenty of playthroughs of this. It's the same problem. My friends in high school were not big gamers or tabletop game players. I was the one who bought all the tabletop games and pushed us to play.
Boo.
I know.
Yeah.
Kill them all.
And, you
with
know, I
fire.
only owned a few of them. I couldn't buy every game I wanted to play, and
Right.
yeah, so this was one that I just never got around to buying. And it's really cool. I've watched Smosh play it like a ton, so I know how it works, and like I love
I
watching.
was gonna say, Caitlin didn't Bo in our gaming
Yeah.
class? Yeah, like they played it.
So I've seen it played like a ton of times.
Yeah.
I should have played it that one time we had the chance in front of the entire class.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think you told me to, and I was like, nah. First
Nerves.
quarter freshman year of college,
Yeah.
like the entire lecture hall.
Mm.
Oh, anxiety. Yeah.
Yikes.
I have played a bit of Secret Hitler. This seems like one that really made social deception games popular as board games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree. And I also, I mean, I don't think it's particularly unique. I don't know, like the mechanics for a lot of these games are really similar. But I honestly think it's a lot of like the flavor, like the way you put the game really matters. And so like
Absolutely.
Secret Hitler, I don't think that's ever gonna go fucking out of fashion at all fascists everywhere.
So let's go over the like basics of how to play in case someone doesn't know how to play.
Mhm, mhm.
So it's been a while since I've watched this, so correct me if I'm wrong, but you have the two sides, there's the liberals and there's the fascists, and then there's one person who is Hitler.
Mhm.
And the fascists know who Hitler is, but Hitler doesn't know who the fascists are. Is that right?
I think that's
I
right.
think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And the
And-
liberals don't know anything.
Liberals don't know anything, and then there is the chancellor,
Dumb libs.
right? Or like there's a chancellor and the president, or there's like two rules or something.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a chancellor and maybe
There's definitely a president.
Yeah, and then they get to choose like who to elect, or they
Uh-huh.
elect the president or something like that. And then
Mhm.
if you end up electing Hitler, the game is over.
Right. One of
Yeah.
them, I think the whoever decides who the president is.
Chancellor. I think the chancellor
I think-
chancellor is the one you vote in.
Okay, so I think whichever the other one is like rotates.
Yes, the
And
other
then
one
other
rotates.
and then that person gets to choose who the
Mhm.
president is. And
Yeah. And then there's like cards, and you have like liberal, like what's it called? Just like
Policies.
policies, thank you,
Yeah.
and fascist policies. And sometimes you could end up with like all fascist policies or all liberal policies or mix, and you like have to pick which one to play. And then it's kind of similar to what you were saying with like the
Mhm.
Avalon game.
You
It's
like-
like you could play a liberal policy if you're a fascist, so you look less suspicious, or you
Yeah.
can play a fascist one to try to like throw them off.
yeah, one of the aspects of this game that I thought was interesting was that the deck, like in Avalon, people look at the cards, you are handed one pass and one fail card. But in Secret Hitler, you can draw all fascist policies.
Yeah, you could be a liberal having to play fascist.
And then people will say, "Oh, it was fascist. You're a fascist," and then you have to be like, "No, it was the only thing I had," and then it's just your word.
Yeah. And one thing I also really like about this game, and like with Avalon, kind of like all of them, there are multiple ways to win, like to get to your end goal, right? So either like you can enact a bunch of liberal policies or a bunch of fascist policies and you win, or the whole Hitler mechanic. So like there are multiple things going on that you have to think about, and I think that's what makes a social deception game really good. Because if it was just like what's that, the Jackbox spaceship one thing,
Yeah.
alien thing, where you're just like trying to figure out who it is, and like that's the only goal, just shit hits the fucking fan like immediately. So like when you have other things to worry about, I think it like slows it down just like a good amount, and you're also like not, it's not Monopoly level fighting most of the time.
Yeah. Right.
And I think it's also a good balance of like giving people something to do, because I think some of these like struggle with, if you don't have a good rule, the game's kind of boring for you.
Yeah.
Throwback
to that time in Among Us where I got the person, the imposter like 5 times in a row.
That was a glitch. It happens sometimes, and every time you're like, "Oh, they couldn't be imposter again," and they always are.
They always are. It's so funny. I got it like 10 times in the row once. It was so funny.
Damn. Yeah, no, I did that at some point. I was like, I'm the imposter. Refresh. I'm not doing this.
Yep.
Absolutely the fuck not.
Be the imposter. I think that same day I wasn't the imposter a single time, and I was so upset.
Take it. Have mine.
Yeah, right.
I know.
Yeah. Speaking of other board games that are social deception that I think are really cool, this one I guess technically is a card game, not a board game. But it's called Love Letter. I don't know if you guys have played it.
I'm not familiar. I've never heard of this.
Me neither.
It is. Oh, it's so good. It's also like gorgeous. Like the cards, the art design is beautiful. So this actually, I played this for the first time with my AP physics teacher and some other nerd friends.
Yeah. I
'cause he
played
was like-
Avalon. I played Avalon with my IB history teacher.
Yeah, he was the advisor for like the gaming club, right?
Nice.
So he had all the games like in the classroom. So sometimes we just like hang around after class and like play a game or two. So Love Letter was one of them. So the premise of the game is that you're in a kingdom and the princess is trying to find her like partner and confidant to help her, like when she becomes the queen, you need like a good, responsible consort at your side. So you play as, there are like different roles and you get different advantages, obviously. But so you're competing to deliver your love letter to the princess to prove your worth. And so like you are both trying to romance the princess and also like stop other people from romancing the princess. So like there are cards where like you can cock block someone else and like a bunch of other things. But like the other ones, right? Various roles that give you different like inside peeks at how the game is working.
Right.
And then 2 different like win mechanics. So it's pretty
It sounds
fun.
really cool. That sounds really interesting. Is it? I've never heard of this. So is it? You said it. Does it? Can you get it in like a box at a game store?
I think technically, yeah, a box. I think it comes in like a bag. So I think some of them come in a bag, but it's like cheap, I'm pretty
Cool.
sure. And I have a bunch of different, there's like a wedding edition for the game. The cards are absolutely gorgeous. It's like set a little bit like, I don't want to say Victorian because it's not the right like era for it. But it's close to that.
Yeah, I
It's
looked up the
gorgeous.
cards and they look really pretty.
They're so pretty. Honestly, like that's what drew me to the game. I was like,
Yeah.
what's this?
It looks
This
like there's a
art
ton of
I
like
want.
different styles too. Like there's a Marvel one, an Adventure Time one.
I like when they do that. Yeah, I like when they
Yeah.
give it a little sponsored skin.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I think it's fun. And then there's like different, like there's like a premium edition, so you have like extra cards.
Uh-huh.
But so like there are things like, you know, like a guard card, priest, baron, handmaid, whatever, that all do different things. But so like if you're a priest, you're allowed to see another player's hands is like what that card does. That was like such a big advantage. But some of them suck, some of them are great.
Uh-huh.
Heart of the cards, guiding
So,
you to win her
heart-
heart.
The heart of the cards. This episode is supported by our patron, Matan Sucks at Injustice 2. If you would like your name to be read on this podcast, you can support us and the content we make at patreon.com/rewind_replay, which is linked in the description below. Thank you, Matan Sucks at Injustice 2.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for this game.
It'll never get old.
Never, not once.
I fucking quit. I fucking quit.
That's fine. Caitlin and I will
Right now,
just
it's
keep
not.
doing it.
Yeah.
We'll just keep doing the podcast. It's fine.
It'll be like our letter W, whichever one came last.
Josh just fucking did. He was like, I can't.
I
Or we
remember that.
dipped.
Oh, we did.
I saw. Yeah,
We
I saw
did.
that.
But we went to go make our own language.
Nice. Go watch our YouTube videos. Letter W.
Yeah, and Q and X.
Coming soon. Z. Y. Who knows?
Why? Why?
Why?
Why,
Why,
V?
why? Why? That's good.
Bro, speaking of V in Cyberpunk, I'm gonna go back to it in a couple months. I want to romance Judy so bad, and I can't.
Heck yeah.
And
love romancing Judy.
you went with Judy too. Ooh, Judy is so fine. Okay, back to this. Oh,
My cat is here for listeners if you're hearing meows and don't see
Aw.
her in the video.
Hello, kitty.
Wanted pets.
the next one up is Mafia / also known as Werewolf.
Yeah. I only know it as Mafia.
Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
heard of it referred to as well.
I have heard it referred to as Werewolf,
Yeah.
but I mostly play as Mafia.
I think that's like the gimmick for like why One Night Ultimate Werewolf is like called that, because it's like supposed to be like Mafia / Werewolf but better, right? So it like
Right.
took the lesser known name and like
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Mafia is like old, you guys. Like this
Uh-huh.
game has been around forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, and like you said, it was around since 1986, which is obviously since before we were born. But I remember playing it when I was like 8 years old. Like
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
this
At
was
camp.
Which,
Yeah.
by the way, is probably too young.
yeah.
Like, I mean, it's called Mafia. That doesn't sound age appropriate.
Mafia. Hey, I don't know. There's some. I know some very nice mafiosos.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. I'm just saying.
I hear ya. I feel like this was a big. Summer camp game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're stuck in a bus. Let's play Mafia road trip real long.
Right.
Yeah, like every time we go to like a band competition when I was like in high school,
Yeah.
Mafia on the bus.
Mhm.
We would drive down to Southern California to go to Disneyland, 8-hour ride. Played
Lord.
Mafia most of the way.
So yeah, I often did not play it with a deck of cards though.
Yeah, me either.
Oh, that's
Um,
so weird.
It seems like that was how it started though.
yeah,
so-
Yeah.
that's the only way I ever played it.
No,
Really?
it was all verbal.
Yeah.
Whenever I played.
So how
all
did you
up
like
here.
pick who was what?
Theater of the imagination. The narrator would go
Would
around.
tap you.
So the narrator would like pick who was what?
Uh-huh.
What? 'Cause
It's
we
like
would-
Duck Duck Goose style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would have the narrator. I usually ended up being the narrator because none of my friends wanted to do it. So I would like pick out So it was like, I think one mafia card for every like 4 players or something like that. And then so you do like, usually we'd have like 2 mafia, it was a king for doctor, queen for detective, and then the rest were like city people. And then I would shuffle them up and then hand them out. And then I would just like, so it would go, I'd have mafia go first, so I would see who all the mafia was, and I'd have doctor go next, so I would see who the doctor was, and then the detective would go, so then I would know if whoever they picked, I would know like what to show them. And then I would just have like my own, like the rest of the cards next to me, and I would just show them what the card was.
Yeah, no, for us, I think it was if they tap you like once, you're mafia, twice is doctor, so like tap tap, and 3 times is a sheriff, and if you don't get tapped, you're just a person.
Right. That was it. And also, I think that in some of my plays, doctor was the angel who would like save you magically.
I think we also may have
I
done
think so
that.
too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so wild
just
though. Like, what if the narrator hated you and you were always a town person?
I'm sure it happened. I'm sure it happened. Or you were always
Like,
evil.
there were people that would play with us in band that I'd for sure make a townsperson.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
don't
that's
want
the
you playing
idea
with
for
us.
why you rotate the narrator role.
Right.
But
So-
I guess if you were always the same person, yeah, I don't know.
Some people just have big townspeople
Yeah, some
energy.
people wanted to be the narrator. I swear, like we would play like 10 times, and like 8 out of the 10 times I was the narrator.
Well, I guess
I
that's
mean,
their own fault then.
Because like the rest of the game is like verbal too, right? Like you just close your eyes and like you point and stuff while the narrator does it. So I never understood like why it had cards at all.
But yeah, Kayla, I mean, yeah, if you're picking the same people, it's their fucking fault for not being narrator.
Yeah, volunteer.
It's so interesting that this is the original. Like, it's cool to see how social deception games have evolved and spun out of this.
I'm sure there has to be something before this.
I'm sure in some way.
That's like social deception, but this is like I think like the most proper / popular one that's like old.
Yeah.
This was there's a lot of game theory research on this. There are a lot of mathematical models predicting like depending on what circumstances what the % of victory for the mafia is. It's wild.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, so hey, if you know a lot of game theory, tell us in the comments.
Yeah.
I'm sure the formula changes whether you use cards or not.
True.
Yes, and I wonder, and again, like the mathematical models are very useful, but it also can't really account for the social aspect, about like.
Oh, but dude, it does.
Really? How does it manage to do that?
When you have enough studies, dude, it's great.
Because one person's ability to determine if someone's lying or like how well I know.
You take the average. Like you take the averages of all occurrences.
You know what that reminds me of? So there in one of John Green's books, it's like An Abundance of Catherines. There's this mathematical equation that like can tell who's gonna be like the person who dumps the other person in a relationship.
I remember that. Yeah.
It works. Like I have done this with my friends, like put them into this equation, and it is right.
Wow.
Every single time.
Is it really?
It is and I don't know how.
Huh.
It works. And like I don't know the math to do the equation. It's beyond me. But like and I don't know if it's still up, but there used to be like a Tumblr page that had it. Like so you just like put in like the information. Yeah. And like it would do the math for you. Every single time it was right.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like I know we all like to think that like, oh, humans are so unique, but like we're pretty fucking predictable.
Sure,
like in a group of like 10 people or however many you normally play Mafia with. Like on average, there's going to be this % of that kind of person.
Right.
Exactly. That, Yeah. Like there are average skill sets and like things you can assume.
Yeah.
Plus like they do like proper studies, like they do thousands and thousands of Mafia games with different people.
Right.
And like record all that to get their
Sure.
equation.
People are wild.
People are
truly.
wild. But also kind of boring.
An actual psychopath and see what happens.
The real wrench in the works. Get Dexter to play.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Then we have a more direct spin-off One Night Ultimate Werewolf.
I think this is like the most popular one.
I've
no?
played it. Yeah.
Like other than
I-
Among Us, because that's like current right now. But
Literally have it right here.
Oh wow.
yeah.
You know what's a good metric for success is if it has a companion app, and One Night Ultimate Werewolf has a companion app.
That is one of my favorite things about One Night Werewolf versus Mafia is no one has to be the narrator.
Yes.
It does it for you. And you get some creepy, spooky music to go along with it.
I gotta be honest. I don't like that there's only one night.
I could go either way. Like sometimes it's nice if you just want to like play a quicker game, but also it's
Yeah.
like I want to get into it more. Like Mafia was fun because you could like go for like an hour, like not knowing who was who, and
Right.
like this one is just like it's over in like 5 minutes.
And you're right. It's a double-edged sword. Like it's nice that you can be so fast and get a lot of games in, but I feel like when there's only one night, when there's only actually one night of events, like you don't have those plans upon plans. You don't have those
Exactly.
those Death Note
But-
style mind games.
But if you have enough people, it could be a longer night, you know?
That's
True.
true.
Plus, like if you're
But-
something like a townsperson, it sucks being a townsperson. Like you get nothing to do, and so having only one night lets you like redraw after like
Yeah.
5-10 minutes, which is nice. I always appreciate
Plus,
it.
there are more roles in this one than
Yes, there's
like
way more.
regular Mafia, which again like leads to like bigger groups can play, and so like then the one night, I mean, depending. But if
Right.
it's like your regular group of friends, there's like 6 of you.
Right.
then it's a lot faster, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a good game. It's very popular. I would play Avalon if given the choice. But so it goes.
yeah, I mean, I think Avalon. I think most like board game players, like tabletop players, would
Mhm.
also probably say like, oh no, Avalon's the best. But
Right.
I think for like a general audience, One Night Werewolf.
That's true. It's accessible.
Yeah,
You-
so this one was great because like I said, my friends in high school not huge
You're-
tabletop gamers.
your dumbass non-nerdy friends.
Yes,
Yeah.
Non-nerdy, even though we were in band. They were all
Hmm.
like, yeah,
They were band kids, but they weren't band kids.
exactly. There were band kids in band, but
right.
I was not in the band kid group. Um, watch someone from my high school listen to this podcast. and
Yeah. Get flamed.
Right. What was I saying? Oh, so yeah, so One Night Ultimate Werewolf was good because it was like a fun game that wasn't too complicated. Because I definitely had friends in that group that were like, I won't play it if the rule like is if there's too many rules or if it like takes too long to play.
Idiots.
Because then it's like gets too complicated.
Smooth brain.
Yeah.
Dum-dums.
Yeah. So One Night Werewolf was like a good compromise. And like
Right.
that's why I played this one like so much and I really liked it because that's
Yeah.
when I could get my friends in high school to play because like they all knew how to play Mafia and they all loved Mafia. So once we like
Right.
started playing more stuff, One Night Werewolf was like what they would get into.
Right.
Yeah,
My-
easy transition.
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
friends in high
I
high
really wanna
school.
try out Avalon and like that.
Yeah, we should do it.
When we can.
Your friends wouldn't play games with more rules than Ultimate Werewolf. My friends were making me play Civ 5, just wiping the floor. That game,
Fuck yeah.
Never. They would look at that game and never. My
Yeah.
friends did not really like video games at all. Like I would
Yes.
try to get them to play.
Caitlin has a very sad past, but now she's here.
we
This is
we have
why
saved
I
her.
didn't play. I had never played like online games with friends until college. Until like
Wow.
Depressing.
last
That's
year.
depressing.
Wow.
Because my
We have
friends didn't
saved
like
you.
it. I know. I
Seen the
tried to
light.
get them to like games. I would like go over and be like, "Let's play Uncharted together today." And,
If
like, I
you'd
had
like
one
to, if you'd like to cooperate in the effort to save Caitlin's
Yes.
soul from utter boredom,
Yeah.
please donate to our Patreon and come play games with me.
Man, we did things like go jet skiing.
That's pretty
What
cool
the fuck
though.
is that?
Can't lie. Man,
My
that's
friend
pretty
almost
cool though.
murdered me. He threw me off the jet ski at like 50 miles an hour.
Nice.
Dangerous,
I
bad,
looked
bad.
it up, and apparently you can like actually die doing that. So don't
My-
do that.
Uh-huh.
Wow. My brother and I did it with one of our parents each like holding on to us on the jet skis when we were on vacation, and we my mom was so scared. I didn't make her, by the way. She wanted to do this. And then she was on the back and she was like squeezing the life out of me as I was going. I had to like go back and let her off because she was having such a bad
Yeah,
time.
no, you'd have to pay me to do anything more than like kayaking. I like kayaking. That's fun.
See, we would do
That's
like
it.
the boat thing where like you have like you have a boat and then you have like the tie and then there's
Yeah.
like the like little floaty thing on the back and then they like try to like knock you off of it.
Mm.
Terrifying.
Horrible.
Terrifying.
But you know what's not horrible? All these games. They're
Yeah.
really cool. I mean, they might be horrible if you were trying to end friendships. But
Why go outside and go camping when you can stay inside and pretend you're
Right.
camping?
Actually, speaking of, there were two other games I just wanted to give a quick mention to. One of them, it's on my Steam wish list. I don't have it yet. It's called Project Winter.
Oh,
It looks very cool.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah,
I may have heard of it. I haven't played it though.
I've seen a little bit of it played. I have not played it at all. But it's 8 players. It is social deception and survival. So I think you're like out in the wilderness in the winter, and you have to, survive. But also there is a imposter among you. The art style is very cool. It looks fun and interesting. I like the melding of survival and social deception because it feels like that's it makes sense that they'd go together, like you would deceive. Oh, your dog's cute.
Aww.
Like you would, sabotage survival things rather than necessarily straight up killing people. And then the other one is a lesser known one called Blood on the Clock Tower.
Nope, no idea.
Yeah, I don't even think that they like sell them regularly. Like they were funded on Patreon. And I have a friend who was close with the people who made the game, and so she has a copy and she's run games for us. And it was really, really fun. There are so many characters. Yeah.
Maybe it'll make a comeback like Among Us.
Yes, I hope so, because I think this game is really fun and I hope they mass produce. There are so many kinds of characters, and you can play with all sorts of numbers of characters. They have all sorts of numbers of people. They have built in this class of character called the Outsider, which is sort of neither good nor evil, but it's basically built for people who like come to the game late or like know they have to leave early. So it's like built in that they don't have to be there the whole time.
That's cool.
They have like 2 other packs. There's something like 70 or 80 something different kinds of characters.
Wow.
And so it's not like all of them are the hugest players, but like they're different enough that like that every game feels fresh. I thought it was balanced really well and I really enjoyed it. It also has a narrator type like Mafia, who kinds of runs things. But I was a really big fan, and I hope eventually I can get my hands on a copy.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Well, good shout out. Good shout out.
Yeah, it's a great one.
I have one last question before we go.
Please.
Why is Mafia the game for elementary and middle school? Like, is this why we have so many school shootings? Like, what?
Oh.
I mean,
No, but like,
No, I think it's the video games. No, I think it's
like a coping mechanism.
No, this game is not violent.
I mean, it can be. When I was a narrator in high school, I would like murder my friends in like terrible ways.
I guess.
Like you're picking who to shoot, dude. Like that's not. I mean, it's not physically violent. But
was that what you guys did though? Like mine wasn't specifically shooting every time.
Mine was like weird. Yeah.
Yeah, weird deaths. So like when I was younger, I don't think the deaths were as like graphic.
I don't think this.
I'd be like, oh, this person got pushed off a cliff.
I think this has about as much to do with real life violence as video games, which is to say none.
Yeah, I agree.
I just think like it's a great. If you guys have read Saga, it's a great graphic novel series. There's a great quote in it about how like, oh, I adore fake violence, but I can't stand real violence. And I think the distinction between those is not nothing. I think it's an important.
Yeah, but like, how do 8-year-olds learn about this game?
I learned about it at a church camp.
A church camp.
Listen,
And then I
was
ripped your
a kid.
bloody head off and then you get caught under the train, and it makes you like these little 8-year-olds.
I did. So I did not go to church when I was younger. I went. This was my friend's. Like, it was. They would like do this thing every year where they'd like literally camp outside our church, like in tents. I don't even remember why or anything. It was just like something they did, and they like invited me one year when I was really young, and this was like the first time I ever played it, and I was like, "What? Like at a church? This is the game we play?"
See, that's what I'm saying. You know, okay, there's something weird.
I'm
going
curious.
on.
Hey, Jenna, you ask a good question about how this game gets passed on.
I mean, it's how like all of them do, like the fucking like what the cootie shot. Like how did I learn this? I don't know. Circle, circle, dot, dot. Now you have a cootie shot. I don't know. Or lemonade or whatever. I don't remember anyone teaching me anything.
Yes.
Maybe that's very interesting.
And just one of them happens to be a murder game. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Like maybe, whoever invented it, if we're saying, Dmitry Davidov in 1986, like maybe he taught it to some kids who then taught it to the younger grades. And then when they were
Oh
older,
my
taught
God,
the
it's a
younger grades.
pyramid scheme.
Or
It's a pyramid scheme.
You know what that just reminded me of?
Huh.
I lost the game.
Say that again?
No, don't say it again. No, it's okay.
I'm so sorry to every viewer.
What did you say?
Do you not know?
I didn't hear you.
She lost the game.
I lost the game.
She doesn't know.
God knows.
I don't know
I
what you're
know.
talking about.
How do you not know?
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
lost the game. You don't.
What?
What are you
This
saying to
is.
me?
This is.
What year were you born in?
Shut the fuck up. The same year as you.
Yeah, man. I wonder how that's basically the game is. Yeah,
I'm so
but not
sorry.
exactly a social
Sir, If
deception.
you don't want to be in the game, stop listening now because
If you think about the game, you lose it.
you
Is how
play
it
the game
goes.
for the rest of your life. If you think about the game, you have to say, I lost the game.
Yeah.
There's no-
Is it like the stupid circle thing? Like that?
Basically, yeah. It's just some dumb
Ah.
thing that kids come up with. Or like, I don't
Mhm.
even know. It's been around since like forever. And I was taught
Got
it
it.
by like my friend's older brother.
Invented by Edward J. Game in 1935.
That's it.
Yeah,
Every-
I don't know that one, but like, do you guys know Green Glass Door?
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know that
Um,
one, Tom?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so there are some like that I because I
Oh.
know a lot of people who also don't know Green Glass Door.
So
um,
Adriana can go through the green glass door, but I can't.
Right.
Neither can you, Matan.
Sounds familiar. Maybe I'm tripping. Yeah, I don't know.
Sugar's ball can go through the green glass door, but Sugar can't.
Manny can go through it.
Oh yeah, I remember people. do
Yeah, sure he does. Let
I
us
don't
know in the
know if I-
comments what else. Take a guess what can and can't go through the green glass door.
We'll let
And
you know if it can.
go check out all our other crap that we do, tabletop games, sketch videos, sketch comedy,
Sketch
improv, everything, reviews to TV shows. We do a lot. Come support
Yes.
us. Come hang with us. Come play games on our server. Donate on Patreon. Insult Matan if you can.
Or not.
Or yeah, and we'll see you next
The,
time.
the next one's gonna be Matan sucks at Avalon.
We're gonna have Matan sucks at Paladins, Matan sucks at Avalon, Matan sucks at life.
Awesome.
Matan sucks at Cyberpunk.
Ooh, yeah.
I do suck at Cyberpunk. All right, and thanks for wrapping up, Adrian. I guess with that, we'll catch you next time.
ABC.